Jushin Thunder Liger was the biggest name and top-drawing junior in the world at this point, as well as being the best. He didn't headline this junior super show he put together on June 17, 1996 at Tokyo Nippon Budokan, where 8 different junior heavyweight titles were defended, because he chose an up-and-coming opponent. On September 15, 1994, Michinoku pros Sato, Shiryu, and Terryboy formed the Rudo unit Heisei Kaientai, but perhaps due to Michinoku's small roster, it wasn't uncommon for 2 or more members to team up with top face the Great Sasuke against top heels Jinsei Shinzaki and Super Delphine. Sasuke, Delphine, Shinzaki, and to a lesser extent Taka Michinoku had made a name for themselves outside of Michinoku Pro through appearances in New Japan and FMW, but since coming over from Universal, Sato had rarely appeared outside of Michinoku Pro, and began to lag even further behind his contemporaries due to missing the second half of 1995 with an injury. Upon his January 10, 1996 return, he changed his name to Dick Togo, and rebranded his group Kaientai Deluxe. Now the top heel group going against Sasuke's Sekigun, the unit was completed on June 14th when the Dream Hunters team of Taka Michinoku and Shoichi Funaki came aboard, ushering in the peak period of Michinoku Pro, with the famous 10-man tags on October 10th and December 16th, 1996, that all the indie high flyers have spent the last 28 years failing to top. Togo's British Commonwealth junior heavyweight title, which he had just won from Danny Collins on May 5th, and had yet to defend, was on the line here. However, this was before Dick Mania was running wild. In fact, Togo had no real singles pedigree, having spent his career in pro lucha leagues that primarily run tag matches, making him a gigantic underdog against the king of the juniors, Liger. I'm surprised this match hasn't maintained its reputation over the years, but I suspect that Togo's rise to greatness leaves newer fans a bit disappointed because it wasn't as competitive as we'd like the lone singles match between 2 all-time greats to have been. The 2 purposes of this match were to get Togo over on a major stage, while transferring his title to Liger, so Liger could put this belt on the line and use 7 other champions he considered to be more valuable for his big J-Crown tournament that August. The early portion of this match was designed to establish Togo's credibility. Togo started off wrestling cleanly, including a tope and a DDT on the floor, and should have stuck to that rather than poking the bear. He quickly began attacking Liger's midsection, including a diving foot stomp off the second, a suplex onto the top rope, and a senton. Liger took offense to this young punk posterizing him, standing on his stomach and being way too cocky, so Liger decided to put the kid in his place. The story of Liger immediately making Togo pay for his excessive cockiness throughout the match could have been fleshed out a bit better, and Liger's surprising bad attitude could have been better justified. In any case, Togo had a bad left elbow, and Liger just mercifully took it apart. This focus made for a good story, but beyond trying to win, we were getting the most sadistic version of Liger. It definitely felt like he was more concerned with hurting Togo, really wanting to make him pay. We basically never see this side of Liger, especially in these days when he was such a beloved babyface, and that made this a unique match. For me, the brutality of the match made it work as a shorter, more compact match that didn't feel overdone. The selling was really great, with both men making you believe they were truly in pain, particularly Togo, who just seemed in agony. More importantly, unlike most modern matches, this selling didn't come at the expense of the pace or the flow of the match, as they found convincing ways to immediately sell while the opponent was in the process of doing their next move. The impact on all these nasty techniques warranted the extra effort they were putting in to put them over, and the extra selling seemed somewhat credible because their offense wasn't light and fluffy. The execution was really great, with everything done very precisely and forcefully. This was the best sort of junior style, flashy but everything they did still looked like it really hurt. Liger avenged Togo's diving foot stop with one to Togo's bad arm. The highlight of the match saw Togo hit a big somersault senton to the floor, then try a Tejeras off the apron, only to have Liger turn it into a wicked powerbomb that looked like it could crack poor Togo's skull. Liger then followed it up with another powerbomb on the floor, just in case Togo's skull was still intact. Liger had things well in hand now, and was doing an impressive job of mixing power moves designed to finish the match with elbow moves designed to cripple Togo, and arguably also finish the match. They sporadically worked in hope spots to keep Togo in the match, including a foul to stop Liger's German suplex, setting up 2 of Togo's diving senton finishers. Liger avoided the 3rd diving senton though, and in a spot out of the classic January 21st, 1996 El Samurai vs Shinjiro Otani match, As Togo was using the ropes to pull himself back up, Liger hit a diving foot stomp to Togo's arm, then got a near submission with an armbar because Togo was too close to the ropes. The match would likely have been a little better if they rearranged a few things and just had the armbar be the finish, as paying off Liger's great and all too rare arm work would have been much more satisfying than the typical knockout blow. Togo hit a nice leg trip counter to Liger's running shote, and got his final hope spot with a graceful La Magistral. Liger came right back though, and ultimately hit an avalanche-style fisherman buster and a running shote for the win. Everything they did was marvelously performed and super impressive, but their transitions definitely could have been better. The match was competitive enough to help Togo advance beyond where he was at the time, but not as competitive as you'd like a great match to be. This didn't have the big, crazy, endless near-fall finishing segment. Rather, Liger comprehensively destroyed Togo and actually just put him away. Liger's ruthless performance was awesome though, and Togo more than held up his end, announcing himself to a larger audience as someone to pay attention to. This was an all-action match, but it didn't feel like an empty spot fest because they were able to make the offense meaningful and feel so damn punishing. I wish they had a rematch in the early 2000s when Togo was at his peak, as even this one-off against an outgunned Togo was arguably better than any singles match Liger had against a Michinoku wrestler other than the great Sasuke. I give this match 4 out of 5 stars.